The $25,000 Home and Renovation Grant. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Florian.Heise here, and welcome to a new episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee, and more information has come out or leaked about the proposed Housing and Renovation Grant. And we'll go through that in a moment. But one thing I've brought up, I've created, and you can see it here on my YouTube. I've just created a post on the community tab. You can see up here, community, you can click on it. And I'm asking people, will the $25,000 renovation grant encourage you to renovate? I put 4 responses here that I think would be interesting for us just to see where the viewers of this channel sit. So the first one is, yes, we will bring forward some work we were planning. So work that you already had planned. For us, well, we bought this house. We bought an old, very run-down Queenslander that everyone else approached was just going to demolish it. And I think the owner wanted to sell to someone that was actually going to do some work on it. So for us, the planned work is to lift the house up, put a new slab down, and renovate it and extend it. So turn our little, four-bedroom place into about a 9-bedroom place, which is what you have to do when you have a lot of kids. But also it allows you to have multi-generational living in a house. So, we'd consider it. But then I'm also worried that prices will overheat. Then the next question, or next response is, yes, we had not planned anything. Now, these are the two that I'll be interested in, the two groups that say yes. People that are just going to make, snap decision. Well, we hadn't thought about doing anything, but we need that new kitchen, or we need this, we need that. Now, upgrading a house and extending it for anticipated teenagers is, well, a necessity, honestly. Upgrading a kitchen or a bathroom, perhaps. But this is the thing. The first one, we're bringing future spending forward. The second one, you're creating spending out of nowhere. Or you could have people, I should add another one, yes, we'll break something to justify. And then no, it's not enough to encourage me, because we are hearing some conditions here, and more will come out later, but it's not dollar for dollar, you've got to spend more. And finally, no, I don't own a home, so the people that are not even going to be affected. So please have a look at this poll, leave your responses here and comments below, and we can just see how it's sitting and how this grant is just affecting our little community here of people who watch the channel. So let's have a look at this article from news.com.au, because my biggest concern with this, stepping away from my own personal benefits that I could receive, and honestly, 25 grand isn't as enticing as 40 or 50 grand. This is going to create another disparity between those who already have property and have the ability to access this grant, and those who do not and want to get into it. Sure, they'll get new home grants as well, but that will also have inflate the price of housing. It just shows you, everyone. It just shows you how property mad Australia is. I can't say I'm at all. I'm a little disappointed in our political leaders that it's just been such a stereotypical response. I can't say that I'm in the slightest bit surprised. I've been watching Dave Ramsey on the YouTube, and he's a radio host, and he has young people come on and do a debt-free scream. He's all encouraging people about getting out of debt, and I find it quite encouraging. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching the screens. And a lot of it over there is quite young people, young couples. I just watched a few of them, in their 20s that have paid off their homes. In their 20s, debt-free. And you have to realize the cost of housing there is a little bit more affordable than over here in Australia. So that's quite encouraging. But with this grant and with this renovation one, it's just going to prop up this sector even more. What if we had, rather than focusing on property even more, what if our leaders looked at trying to do something a bit innovative? What if there were some ways to reduce costs for everyone, even if you don't own a house? Look at reducing taxation on petrol on other goods and services that people use? What if we found ways to try and make power much cheaper? So then it's more competitive for businesses. Or we created special economic regions. I'm harping on about this, but I think that's the only way we're going to be able to prove that stepping government away, regulation away, can be a benefit, because you want to compare two regions. Australia needs a Hong Kong of 5 years ago. What do you think, everyone? Or do you think this is just what we need to keep going down the same path? Because if we're going to be here in 20, 40 years with still nearly 60% of the wealth of the civilization in housing, are we going to be left behind from the rest of the world? Or are we just accepting the fact that we're a quarry for the world with nice weather? Could be worse. Could be worse. And by nice weather, I mean Brisbane and North. So homeowners will be offered grants of around $25,000 to build new homes under a new stimulus plan. But renovators, so new homes, building new homes, renovators will have to match the free cash by more than $1 for $1. Designed to protect tradies' jobs in the wake of the pandemic, the final details of the scheme will be announced this week. But news.com.au has confirmed the requirement that renovators demonstrate substantial spending means that smaller DIY projects will be locked out of the Prime Minister's renovations bonanza to ensure the money supports tradies' jobs. Renovators will not just be required to match the cash grants, but spend more, ensuring the projects are substantial. So, will that have an effect on the spending? Maybe you won't just be able to do a kitchen. Maybe you'll have to put in 50 grand to their 25 grand. Which, still, it's a discount on your construction costs, guys. But you've got to remember, if there's more demand for tradies, it's going to push up the price. So will it actually happen? Because where there's money injected into an economy, and this is money injected into economy, there's a bubble. And we'll have to see. So that's why Rachel's going, okay, boom, get our structural drawings finished and move. You want to be one of the first. You want to be one of the first before it overheats, before the bubble inflates prices. We're more interested in the larger projects and new home builds and things like that. Prime Minister Scott Morrison told 2GB on Monday morning. We're looking at a bit of drop-off in the current home building that's going on, and that's not good for tradies and it's not good for jobs. As a result of the Reno rules, while a substantial kitchen or bedroom renovation that provides work for plumbers and carpenters may fit the bill, a more modest paint job or flat-back kitchen may not quite qualify for the scheme. Well, there you go, see? Florian buying that fixer-upper that needs literally everything done to it. I put a skirting in yesterday, guys. I'm getting there. I want to do an episode because literally I'm tearing off old rusted metal off parts of the house and I'm collecting it all together to do an episode on how much you can make from scrap. But I think it will be a bit too depressing for people how little you can make from scrap metal. But hey, every bit helps, guys. Every bit helps. Even if, you happen to be going past the scrapyard, happen to drop it in, you make $5. Hey, it's $5 you didn't have. Put that off the mortgage right there. Or a week's worth. That's a week's worth of 7-Eleven coffees. And you don't look a gift horse in the mouth and keep it out of the bin. But yeah, it is. I think the worst I've ever had was like 80 kilos of metal, and I got no, 140 kilos of metal. I managed to lift it up into the boot of the car, and I got like $22 for it. Yeah, I think this will be coming. The tradies and all the others, the apprentices and others who work in that home building sector are going to feel a lot of pain unless we can keep a continuity in the business with house construction, Mr. Morrison said. And the theory behind this is, and we've seen this already in other industries, where if your civilization loses that capacity to construct, you lose those skills, and it's very hard to get them back. Now, housing's a bit different to other sectors because it employs a huge part of the workforce. We're not talking about one or two little factories here. We're talking about one of the biggest employers in our civilization. Because remember, we're property obsessed. The Prime Minister is considering a grant scheme that more than doubles existing state rebates on offer to families in New South Wales for new home builds. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg was coy on the details, but senior government sources have confirmed to News.com the figure of around $25,000 is in the ballpark. The amount is lower than the proposed $40,000 to $50,000 in grants proposed by Master Builders Association and the Housing Industry Association. The Morrison government also wants to extend the grant to people who may have owned property before considering a new build. In New South Wales, the grants for first home buyers building a new home currently stand at $10,000 on property worth no more than $750. But the scheme differs from state to state and currently already stand at $20,000 for new home builds in Tasmania. The Morrison government is expected to announce the final details of the scheme on Wednesday or Thursday. The Prime Minister is keen to use existing first home buyer schemes already established in each state to deliver the grants. This means the same limits on the values of the family homes that are eligible for the scheme are likely to be applied, which will prohibit wealthy buyers using the grants to purchase million-dollar homes. But it won't prohibit wealthy buyers from buying investment homes, will it? Can you get a grant to get an investment home? I don't think you can. Someone let me know in the comments. In most states, that's a house worth less than $750,000. The original first home owner grant scheme was introduced by John Howard on July 1, 2000 to offset the effects of the GST on home ownership. In Queensland, the first home... Why didn't they just exempt... of course they couldn't. They want to... because of all the trades and materials and things in there. In Queensland, the first home owner's grant has previously paid $15,000 towards buying or building your new home if it was valued at less than $750,000. In Victoria, a $10,000 first home owner grant is available for contracts signed from July 1, 2017 to 2021. Homes must be worth less than $750,000. In WA, a $10,000 home grant is available and stamp duty concessions are also offered. Oh, it's nice that most of them, you're paying the money back to yourself, guys, if you pay the stamp duty. In Canberra, the first homeowner's grant is currently worth $7,000 and it applies to a new or substantially renovated home. The total value must be less than $750,000. In Northern Territory, eligible homeowners can access the $10,000 first homeowner's grant to buy or build a new home, a discount of up to $24,000 in stamp duty on an established home, a $10,000 home renovation grant, or a $2,000 grant to buy household goods. Labor has called for the Morrison government to announce support for the housing sector, urging the PM to hurry up before more jobs were lost. Well, there you have it, guys. Some more details on the grant scheme. This is something I think a lot of us are interested in because it's going to have an impact on property and it's going to have an impact on construction jobs. What do you think? Would this encourage you to pull a project forward? Will it encourage you to do something you weren't even planning? Or are you not in a position to get advantage, or you're just going to sit back and watch? As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you'd like to support this channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join on Patreon or YouTube. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next episode.